It's pretty quiet on Capitol Hill right now, nothing like the past 45 days. Legislators dealt with some pretty serious issues and passed some controversial legislation. For one, lawmakers decided it would not be necessary to have a concealed carry permit to carry a gun. That vote came in spite of objections from many city police chiefs. Lawmakers voted to raise the speed limit on many Utah highways. They took steps to clean up the air, making certain industries develop plans to reduce dangerous emissions and encourage the use of natural gas vehicles. And these are just a few of the big issues. We spoke with House Speaker Becky Lockhart about how the session went from her perspective. How did it go?
It went really, really well. I was very pleased. We had good budget numbers this year, even with the uncertainty of what's going on at the federal level. So we were able to fund a lot of real good things, growth in public education, a 2% increase in the WPU, which we haven't been able to do for many years now. So we feel really positive about it.
One of the issues troubling cities and towns across the state is old roads and what to do to keep them from falling apart. There was talk of raising the gas tax or finding money elsewhere to patch potholes and maintain old, crumbling roads. It didn't happen. No increase in the sales tax, but then we're also looking at how to fund roads. Is that something that we'll continue to deal with?
That's going to be an issue that we have to struggle with, not only just new capacity on roads, but we have a lot of maintenance need, unmet maintenance that's out there that has just kind of, we've built a lot of lane miles. When you build lane miles, you have to take care of them. It's like building a building and not putting money away for repairs and remodeling and those kinds of things that happen over the life of the building. It's the same thing with roads. You've got potholes, you've got resurfacing. If you want your roads to last 50 years, you've got to take care of them. And that's something that, I guess that's one disappointment maybe that I have, that we haven't really focused on that as much as I think we should. And that's something that moving through this next interim, we're really going to focus on. You know, building a road or an overpass is like exciting, right? Because there's a ribbon cutting. And a legislator or a mayor or whatever, they get to go out and look at this great thing that happened. Fixing potholes and resurfacing generally doesn't have a big ribbon cutting or a celebration, and so it's a lot harder to get the momentum and the motivation behind. Let's put a lot of money into maintenance, even though we know we should do it.
And how do we deal with this? As more people buy a Prius, and we're so happy that they are because they're not polluting the air, they're not paying the gas tax.
When you have alternate fuel vehicles and no fuel vehicles, if you will, more and more of those who are paying no tax or very little tax, and especially not a gas tax, how do you continue to fund transportation when you don't have that revenue stream, like you said, in a positive way, right? So they're still driving on the road. The wear and tear on the facility is still there. So that's another thing we're going to have to come to terms with kind of philosophically.
Of course, each legislative session, lawmakers deal with the issue of alcohol sales. It's almost tradition. This year, lawmakers voted to make more licenses available and allow patrons to order a drink before getting their meal. But they didn't eliminate one element of Utah liquor law that some refer to as simply weird, the Zion Curtain.
No, not this year. Unfortunately, the House passed that bill. We were very much in favor of having that come down. To many of us, it was a fairness issue. We had a grandfathering of some restaurants, and others no, and so they were being treated differently. And so the House position, as we passed that, had to do, I believe, a lot to do with just equity, treating everyone the same.
Are there any disappointments this session?
Sure, there are always disappointments. One, I think, is just this uncertainty that we have with federal policy. There's disappointment around the issue of Medicaid expansion. The House took a position, we don't want to expand Medicaid, not because we don't know that there are people out there in need, people who need help. It's what is the long-term fiscal impact on the state budget and on our taxpayers. We have to think about what will this mean to future generations in terms of their tax burden, not just what does it mean today.
Will we have a special session?
I don't know. Potentially. We've got the issue out there with the prison relocation that may require a special session. We'll wait and see what the governor comes up with, and we'll see.
Lawmakers did pass a bill to open bidding on relocating the prison. Looking back at the overall demeanor of the Utah House this session, Speaker Lockhart says it was quite civil.
I'm pleased that the session went so smoothly. That's really, I've been a process person since the beginning. I like good process. I like good debate. Even, win or lose, I like that to happen. And that happened a lot this session. We had good discussion about the issues, give and take on both sides, and we came up with some really good policies and a really good budget.
And that's with new people, too.
And that's with 31 members of the House with 2 years or less.
Not bad for a woman who's seen some pretty interesting debate over the years on everything from guns to feral cats. At the Utah State Capitol, I'm Susan Wood for the